People probably think that I am barking mad putting away these nuts and bolts like this, but they really do help. They really do help when you have jobs on and you want to have the right nut and bolt for the job. So there's 9/16 fine thread. It's not so much them on the engine. 1/2 inch fine thread goes in there, so you just get, I like to have a little system there, so we're looking for something that I have a good choice of stuff, right down to spring washers. They'll just fit that little bit better than the wrong metric. That's just 9/16 long bolts, so they're 1/2 inch, so I put them in there. But when you consider that I have another good few to go through, you know, it does make sense. Like, that's going to go in this box here because it's to do with pistons and all of that. Got some push rods there. Already seen that they were handy in the gold belly, having some ones of them. Like, there's a nice bracket for a wire. You like them. You've seen the 35X video, you've seen plenty of other videos. We like having them sort of brackets. They're factory brackets. So I can go through all of them. Sump bolt, very specific to the sump, but not anywhere else. Long 1/2 inch head, coarse threads, and then the matching spring washer. I remember having to go to a man and buy 2 of them off him because I was stuck. So I like to be able to put all of these in the right place, the right tub. It only takes a little while. You may as well clean them down, and if you have these, well, it's a lot neater than having them all thrown into one bucket. Like, so my studs will go in there as well, so I'll go through them and yeah, we'll put them all away. So another part that was on this engine that I'm going to dissect a bit, I'm going to chop it up into separate wires, is this wiring loom. So that was going down to your dynamo, this was going to your starter. The little lad that makes the connections to the solenoid. I presume that was probably going up to your heater plug. These were going to your regulator box. Now, the connections are excellent on these. The copper connections clean up lovely with a sandpaper. They're done really well in factory. Some of them they're just excellent, high quality connections. Little tidy little ringlets there as well, you know. So what I'm going to do, in the original loom, you see there was a kind of a cloth kind of a covering over them as well. On the gold belly and the likes of that, I do like to keep a bit of patina on that, so I want to be able to keep a few wires. I remember I used a few already from early Ferguson 6-volt petrol dashboard I had, and I had a few wires on it, and I found that the quality of them was fantastic. So any of them with these connections, like, they're so heavy for the likes of a heater plug. I think I used it on my 20 diesel not too long ago, a nice heater plug wire, just able to take the current that's needed. Quality in them is fantastic. So I'm going to try and cut. This is a kind of a, it's actually really, it's hard enough to cut. There's a good bit in it, stuff in it. And of course years of kind of grease and stuff, fuel leaking down and dust and dirt. You add in that into the equation to make it a little bit awkward to cut. I don't want to go damaging the wires too much either. So I'm just going to take my time and try and cut this and get them wires out. Seriously high quality. Seriously high quality, and lovely if you're doing a patina, going for a patina look on an engine. Really nice. I don't like this now. I prefer just to keep the wires, so I'm not fussed about that. Okay, so that connection there is causing a problem. So does that mean I have to cut it the whole way down? It probably does. I'm going to take a look at this connection first to see do I like it. But a lot of connections at the dynamo are actually ringlets. But that is a copper one, so we'll try and keep that as is. It's definitely a material you just don't see used anymore in wiring looms. I'd say it was awkward enough getting wires down through them. Or was it put on after? I don't know. It doesn't seem to have been rolled on anyway, wrapped on like a tape. Serious high quality wires. So I'll come back when I have that ready to I'm ready to get separate wires out of it. Right. So now we've got separate wires here for the most part. Left a bit of that on there. That's a good long length of original wire going onto a dynamo. No connections on that still. This one is a nice ringlet connection there with two wires coming off, so that could be handy for something under the same length as well. That could work as an earth or something for head lamps. This is a nice one for the likes of a heater plug with heavy wire. And we've got another one there with a nice neat ringlet. So as far as we'll say patina goes, it's lovely for the likes of a coil or something like that. Would not be lovely on a coil? Polish up the copper a little bit. A little bit of the protective coating still on it there. That's a lovely bit of wire. Good and heavy. I really feel the copper in them. Savage. So I'm going to put these in a separate box, keep them, because I'm waiting on a new key switch for the gold belly, so I'd say I'll probably end up using some of these wires. So look, it's just another little bit of salvage. Crankshaft is under there, that'll be getting washed, and I wash out the other nuts and bolts and dry them. So I think that's what I might start doing here. We also have the oil filter housing there. Just give that a little bit quick wash up there. Per later, I think it is. Lovely. So yeah, I'm going to open this up and see what filter was in it just for the fun as well. Actually, let's do that now. I can feel something rattling around in it. May as well, sure, it's all just a bit of crack. So the Ferguson spanner had an 11/16 on the end of it, so you could do basic maintenance on your tractor. So I would say, if I'm not mistaken, this is 11/16. Yeah. So we'll just see what was in there. See what sort of an apparatus was in it. Was it in good nick? Was it in bad nick? What sort of oil was in it? Is there lots of dirt in it? Okay. So a bit of a seal and washer in there as well. So I remember taking one of these apart before and wondering how it actually sealed at the bottom. Now, I might grab it there and tap the aluminium forward. Should I go and get something just to catch oil, or did I have a drain now? Should be all right. Now plastics, hammer, a little tap forward. Okay, so we have the O-ring is still in there, rubber O-ring. So grassland one by the looks of things, green. Yeah, I suppose that's not really going to show us a whole lot now, tell us a whole lot, but that's what was in it. I remember buying them grasslands myself years ago for the Ferguson 20 at home. Then I couldn't get them again, so I don't know, did they go off the market? May as well keep it all in one piece anyway. But yeah, that was a good while ago. The grassland was available, and it just simply wasn't then after a while. Hard enough to find the hole with the threads in this one. Anyway, let's just have a quick look at it anyway, so that's all I wanted to do there. We're at it, sure. Give it a quick clean up before we go storing it away. Seems to be some extra little lock nut on that. I have never seen that before. I've seen two of them before. That's interesting enough, no? Maybe it was. Oh no, maybe that's right, yeah. Sure hard to beat aluminium for cleaning up. So it cleans up lovely. That's the name there now. Purolator, AP Co Limited, registered trademark. That's your pressure release valve is probably meant to be set to about 60 psi. Did get a little bit of a dunt there, I think, at some point. But would that be cool to have on the wall? That's what I'm starting to think. It's just cool. That was your 50s marketing, wasn't it? That's what sold the product. It's cool. So I have a Ferguson 20 TVO one as well. And maybe I might go and get that. It's here beside me. And this one, we'll see that that's the same make as well. And it's not, it's Tecalamit. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the same company that made the grease guns for the Ferguson 20. Tecalamit. So that was your style of Ferguson 20, and it was smaller ones as well. I'm not sure what they were used on at all. But that's one there. Kind of a pewter, like carburetor kind of. Same material carburetors made of. Anyway, they're just nice to have hanging around. We're working on the old stuff in here. It's a nice brass one there. It's like a BSA motorbike, I think. Anyway, I'm just trying to think, since I'm packing all of these away, considering how well they clean up. Right, that explains the make of it there actually, yeah. So they changed suppliers from when they went to the diesel. That's a lovely brass badge, like. Engine lubricating oil filter. Lovely. And it is Brit patent. No, made in England, yeah. Sometimes just seems a little bit of a pity just throwing these in. But they make a nice little showpiece on the wall to do them together polished up. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe even get rid of this canister, just have the polished up aluminium. And maybe it's better to keep it all together so people know it's an oil filter. What do we think? Throw it into a drawer and never see it again, or have it hanging there somewhere where you can see it and you can see the names. Yeah, I might clean that up now actually, and that might inspire me to have it somewhere where it will be seen. So we'll give that the same treatment and see how it turns out. So, isn't that good enough a place for them as anywhere? At least we can see them. So the TVO one's a good bit longer as well, I see. But leave them there anyway. They only would have been thrown in the drawer anyway. So I want to give this cylinder head a bit of a clean down. This came from another engine. Just for storage, to make it easier. Lot of dirty oil and grease and everything on this. Take a good bit of cleaning down, but the idea is to just get it soaking there anyway. At some point then I'm going to whip out the valves, check the seats, check the valve guides, and if it's not too bad I'll lap the valves back in, or I'll put a new set of valves or valve guides in it and have that much done. People to be looking for these. It's nice work to do. Again, this parts washer is just so handy when it comes to like this. I used to fill up one of them kind of guns that you put on the compressor, the kind of a canister, and you put petrol in it. Sure, they'll have it all shot out in no time. This keeps recycling. There's a mixture of diesel and kerosene in this part washer. So kerosene is a bit more cut in it than diesel. And petrol would be no good because it would evaporate, especially in this shed because it gets so hot in here. So it does no good to have a good soak in that, especially the valves and the valve guides and all that. So that's about all I'm going to do with that. All the frost plugs are in it. The valves don't look to be too far up into the cylinder head at all, so there's plenty of make left in there for valve seats. So that's all I'm going to do with that. Let it drip dry then, and I'll come back at it then for another. Give it another wash then after that's soaked in, and I might even start up the power washer then, power wash it all, and then actually give it another run of that. And that's usually all I do with them. They're dirty work, to be honest with you, with the power washer, unless you get most of the stuff off of this. After that, when I'm looking for something to do in a rainy afternoon, I'll whip out the valves, so I have a valve spring compressor here. Tin Atlanta, that's the engine. Fairly well cleaned down. They're now power washed, so I'm going to hit it now with the wire brush on the drill again and give it a good wipe down with an oily rag, and after I blow all the water off it, but it's looking a lot better. So it took a few evenings to get it stripped down. So I'm just giving it a go with the wire brush there after I washed it and blew it out with the air gun. And yeah, that's ready to go. There's no cracks at all, no cracks in between the liners, no cracks where they usually crack from frost damage along there. Along the drainage tap there, block drain tap. It seems to be a good little block, so I think it's ready to bring that back in now and cover it up. That's job oxo, I think. So, Sinead on Bart Dinta. The job is done. So I just have the crank in the head and the rocker shaft in there, giving them a bit of an old wash down. Every now and again I'll give them another quick wash and things will slowly shift then, oil and stuff. The block is back here, ready to go. I washed a few parts there for the engine there that are kind of specific. So there's some goodies in there between timing gears, cuff rings, compression and all of that, oil pump, nuts and bolts to do with conrods, tensioner and the spring, oil slinger ring, oil pickup pipe from the oil pump. So they're all, Heart Washer did a lovely job on them. Just going to basically keep all of them together and put it over here to the graveyard of parts, and we might just need that down the road. And yeah, the camshafts down there wrapped as well because you can't buy them now. So that's it, final video on the strip down of that 20 diesel engine. So we'll be probably moving on to other jobs now, like maybe taking this decompressor front lever off and fitting it onto the 20 diesel there. It was never on it, so there was a video on that on the Ferguson 20 diesel playlist where I took this apart, got it moving, put it back onto this original thermostat housing to make sure I was after fitting it all back in the right place, and then I gave that a bit of a shop blasting, separate parts, prime paint, because that tractor's fairly painted, so I'll paint it up and we'll fit it on there, and that'll be another part in the jigsaw puzzle. And then we've other small little jobs to do. There's also a little video on some of the parts like this and what we can do to try and salvage it and get some good out of it, so I'll get back to doing a little job on that. So there'll be plenty going on in the shed here, and of course the other evening we tidied up these fuel filters. It's no oil filters. The one on the right is a diesel 20 and the one left is a TVO, so just kind of clean them up and showed off a bit of the name plates and the differences in them and all of that, so that kind of stuff. So thanks a million for everyone who's continued to keep watching, and thanks for the likes, subscribes and all of that, and we'll see you in the next video.